Hello, guys. I should be live. Today we are doing some mermaid scales, and I'm going to just make sure that I can see all the chats, since I'm still new to all of this, especially for the Instagram. So I'll see if there's a way for me to keep an eye on what's happening. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat already, especially in Instagram. I see a few of you guys. People from Uruguay, other places. I don't even know if I can. Can I still? Oh yeah, I can do this. All right, learning. All right. Let me try to put that in a place that I can see it while I'm painting. Yeah, I think this is working. And I think for you guys on Instagram, if I'm just a little bit more centered like this, everything should be fine. All right, cool. Can I? Yes, I can. All right. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so today we're doing mermaid scales, guys. This is, if you didn't know, this is part of the Daily 5 challenge that we are doing on a daily basis every month. This month we are doing textures, and because it's May officially and it's the Mermaid challenge out there, the first one for this month is mermaid scale. And the great thing is, if you are participating into the Mermaid challenge, you'll be able to have a little bit of practice by doing the prompt today. So as you can already see, I already kind of started just to have some practice on understanding how the scale would actually wrap around an object. But today I would like to do an actual mermaid tail. But yeah, I'll just run you through, guys, my kind of like study here. When you're looking at scales, you have to think about, like, if you're doing like any kind of form. I'll be doing like a kind of a tail, not too fancy tail, just kind of a cartoony style a little bit, maybe with like some shape like that. When you're doing this, you have to think about the 3D aspect of the object you will be wrapping around your scale around, something like that, right? So having just cross contour lines like this, and kind of trying to imagine, all right, so if I have to put scales on that thing, what's the pattern that they'll be following? It's probably something like that. And then what you have to do is just to kind of like wrap around scales around it. In this case, I think it would be more into like this kind of fashion. And you try to kind of, yeah, follow the rhythm of it. At the very least, that's the practice that I did today. So today, what I want to do is I have some reference pictures here of scales. I did some practice before. So let's just get into it. I will start the clock. Technically, you're supposed to do this between 5 and 30 minutes, which it never takes me 5. It always takes me at least 30 minutes. So let's see if I can start the clock on that thing. I think it's tools. And where's that? Starts up. Bam. All right, cool. Start the clock. If you have any question, if you are in Instagram, if you are with me along the way, let me know. I'll try to do my best to look at the chat. On YouTube, you can, I want to say hi to Chris. It's on YouTube. You're welcome. So yeah, I'm zero good at multitasking, so I have chats there. I'll do my best to answer the question, guys. If you want to put a capital Q in front of the questions, it's going to be much easier for me to be distinguishing between the questions and the regular chat. I want to say hi to everybody that joined from India, Brazil. Thank you so much, guys, for joining live. All right, let's just get started. First thing first, I always start with a sketch. So I'll start with a sketch. I think the basic shape of the tail is definitely what I'll do first. Let's think about what kind of shape I'll do. I feel like I'd like to have like some sort of a, seeing like the inside of whatever shape I'm doing. And like I was saying, I'm probably going to be like more close to like a fish tail than an actual mermaid's tail, where you have like the almost like the legs that you see, but we'll try to do something fun anyway. Let's see. Yeah, that ain't bad. I'm seeing like a little fin on the side, so maybe we'll add that. Maybe there's another kind of finish. So it's more like a fish tail, but that will do for now. And I'm going to place myself just some repairs to indicate, like I was saying, the cross contour lines. I'm not gonna strive to be perfect here. My line will be crooked, my perspective will be wonky, but these are supposed to be practices. The idea is really just to kind of have fun, get yourself to do a little bit of practice on a daily basis. Don't spend too much time on this. So that's for that. And let's see if I can figure that out. How would that turn from there? Probably the one in the middle would kind of turn like in the middle like this, and like that. Having just a grid like this is going to help me to place all the scales. That's kind of, yeah, that kind of work. And yeah, this is going to be just my grid. Matter of fact, I should have put it on a separate layer. But for now, it's fine. I'll just put that in transparency. Put a top layer on top of it, and now it's just going to be repetitive. Now, that's the thing with this prompt, is that there's going to be a lot of just tedious repetition before I can even get to painting, which is the most, interesting part, I guess, to look at. But let's see how I can do this. So I'm going to put from the middle to the middle here to the middle here a giant scale. Like I was saying, doesn't have to be perfect. And then what you have to do is just kind of repeat the same logic from middle to middle. And once I have one that's done, then it's a question of going from middle to middle to middle and create kind of another thing. I'm trying to think about, like, how can I place these scales so they point into the direction of the flow, but at the same time I don't kill myself. And when I'm on a side, I'm just gonna have like these kind of shut down like this. This one was not in the middle completely. I might just put that here. Some will be bigger, some will be smaller. That's all good. We're just trying to practice. And I think, like, especially like scales of a fish or scales of pretty much anything, a snake, there's just so many like small details. So when you're doing like a sketch like this, you actually end up doing more work that's necessary. And what I mean by this is, I could have started with just rendering the form with value and colors and add just a little bit of detail, and probably would have been able to kind of like fake my way through it. But because I want to use these daily 5 challenges to actually practice my sketching, because that's the part where, for me, I need the most practice. I think it's always a good way to, just practice where you feel you need the most practice. And for me, it's my sketches. They're not where I want them to be. So you can see it's already taking like the form, the shape. So at this point, I know I'll reach my end goal. I said gold, it's goal. So yeah, if you have any question in YouTube, Instagram, I'm seeing everything. I got eyes on everything. So please let me know. For me, it is May 2nd, even though we are supposed to do May 1st, I am in Thailand and it's 8 a.m. But because I wanted to reach as many people as possible, this is the time where I do my stuff. I want to say hi to Raphael in the chat of YouTube. By the way, guys, let me know also if the sound, I didn't do a sound check. Let me know if the sound is too high or too low. Sometimes these things happen. Don't be shy to let me know. All right. Now we're going to turn. And I want to make sure that we feel like the shape turns. So I'm having like kind of a swoosh for that particular place. I think that's pretty good. From middle to middle, from middle to middle. Like these, when they're like here, they will kind of squish. So I'm kind of trying to squish them at the same time. Thank you, Memorable Mao, to let me know that the sound is doing well. The chat on Instagram is so hard to read. Like it's barely like it's the same color from your names to the actual chat or the actual message, and then it's barely bold. But yeah. All right. So trying to turn here, it's going to look messy, and you know what? Like I was saying, this is no big deal. What I'll be able to do afterwards is with values, with colors, to kind of come back and erase what looks too messy and create details on top of it that just kind of give the illusion that they're scales without drawing. Like here it's like kind of messy, but that's okay. I'm just going to try to get out of this curve with not too much problems. I might just kind of fake my way through there. All right. I want to say hi to S. Celestin. Thank you for letting me know that it sounds great in YouTube as well, because we are both on YouTube and Instagram this morning. I learned recently that it was something that it's doable to basically do those lives on both platforms. I know some platforms such as Twitch, if you're on their programs, they don't let you do that. Hopefully Facebook, sorry, not Facebook, but Instagram and, well, yeah, technically Facebook and YouTube won't matter, because it's nice to be able to reach you all, guys. So yeah, if you want to participate with me, you can join the tribe. There's a link, probably on every platform. There's a link for the tribe. The tribe, we are all working together all month long on these to kind of get better together. So one prompt every day. Come join the fun. All right, trying to finish this in as little time as possible. 10 minutes, Jesus. Scales are taking a long time. All right, I think good enough, right? Let's finish with the tail. Trying to get inspired from the reference, but it doesn't really have to be the same. It's more like a fishtail of some sort, but that's fine. Little fin. And I kind of like, you know, when you see the bone, I guess we have chopped that tail. I think, I'm not sure how it would look. Maybe there would be like kind of like a shape like this, maybe, and then kind of like a rib cage of some sort that you see there. Yeah, I think with the colors it will be a little bit more obvious. All right. So for all my DD5s, usually what I like to do is once I have a basic sketch like this, take this brush here. This is the D5 flat pastel. You can download all my Daily 5 brushes for absolutely for free. There is a link probably anywhere on any of the platforms, guys. Descriptions somewhere. Times to decide of the color. Usually I have a colored background. I want to see like what I have here in terms of colors. What are we going to do? I really like these kind of colors. I think they're really great. I also really like the fish here, but he's on a white background. I'm not a huge fan of white backgrounds. I think I'm gonna go for this, and we'll go for a dark deep blue. But before I do this, I'm gonna make sure to have a background for the tail, otherwise it's gonna disappear in it. So I'm just gonna have like just a color, just to mask so I can see it. Again, I got my eyes on the chat, guys. I am not here to talk to myself. So if you have any questions, if you want to ask about something, anything, if you want to talk about your day, by all means, let's try to have a conversation. Also, I would like to be able to just kind of get better at reading the chat. So by all means, talk to me. I am very talkable. Is that a word? I'm not sure. All right. Sweet. Now I'm putting it gray, but it's not going to stay gray. I will change that color once I have decided on the color of the background. It's always important to kind of start with the color of the background. The only reason, like I was saying, I'm using the color for the fish here, it's so I can so that I can put the background kind of darker and it doesn't disappear. I'm gonna go with a deep blue, purplish, delish kind of color, I think. Here we go. I think that's pretty good. I might, I think that's pretty good. What do you think? Maybe just, let's go for something that's even darker. And yeah, some sort of a gradient. And let's change that base color to what do I need here? I think the blue. I think the blue is the constant here. You know what? Actually, I might go for a gradient. I might just use a kind of a green teal. Green teal. Directly on this. And I might do, looking at it, there's like a bunch of colors. Let's see what we can do here. When I'm doing this, I'm seeing a question. When you got no inspiration, how do you inspiration again with doing artwork? Well, I like to participate in the Daily 5 for that exact reason, actually, memorable. Because sometimes the best remedy to get inspired after a time of not feeling inspired is really just to get into it and start drawing. I'm going to move that thing away from my face a little bit. And the D5 is great because it tells you exactly what to do. So you don't have to think about it. You just have to sit down, do it. It's a small amount of time, so you can do it kind of every day. That's the goal of it. And yeah, that's the best way for me to keep at it. So you say lately you have been having blocks. Yeah, these happen to all of us. I think the best way is really just to sit down and have a small amount of work that you can manage to do. To remind me, manage to do in a small period of time. I cannot do two things at the same time, guys. I'm seeing the chat and then I'm true. And apparently I look like Nicolas Cage. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. All right, let's add the fleshy part of that fish. Kind of a rosé flesh. Yeah, that'd be good. Let's attach that to, nope, not that. That. And, all right, rosé flesh. Who's Nicolas Cage? Am I that old? All right. Let's continue here. Jesus, how do people do lives and talk at the same time and paint? It's a skill that I haven't acquired yet. All right. Still 17 minutes. We're still on time. I want to finish that within an half an hour. So I have the basic colors. I think what's going to miss here is I want to put the details only where it's needed to be. And for this, it's highlights. So my thinking is I'm going to put kind of a highlight in the middle of it, but I want to put more colors to it too. So I'm just going to take another brush here. Okay, so memorable for anybody that's like younger. Nicolas Cage was an actor. I want to say he was at his top in the 90s, maybe 80s, maybe early 2000. And he did a lot of movies, action movies for the most part. But he did also some really great movies. I'm forgetting all the titles right now as I'm putting this horrible yellow on this. That's not going to stay there. I'm trying to remember. He did like Alcatraz, which, I don't know, action movie if you're into that. Is purple working? I guess purple is working. I kind of like the color of the fish too. I don't know if I can put some like pink in there maybe, a little bit. Something like that maybe. And yeah, maybe the tail. Maybe the bunch of the fins, kind of. That's kind of interesting, right? That's a little bit too patchy. Let's keep that like this. Take out that. I don't know about this. I think that's all right. That's okay. All right. Let's try to add. Like I was saying, I'm going to try to add details where it is. I'm going to think about it like it's a cylinder, right? I'm going to think about it like it's a cylinder, and I'm going to use, well, thank you, Tessa. Yeah, The Rock, Con Air, Gone in 60 Seconds. All good movies of this. Yes, I agree. For everybody on YouTube, we're having a chat in Instagram talking about Nicolas Cage. If you guys want to join there or stay on YouTube. All I'm saying is we're talking about movies there. Chris, you say I did the 85 for the first time last month. And I feel like I learned and progressed more than I have from seminar and classes. That's awesome. I'm super happy for you. Seriously. You know, it's what's cool about the 85. It's all about, you know, building a habit. And when you build a habit, you get better because you paint more. That's as simple as that, really. All right. Overlay layer. With a darkish color, I'm going to use some kind of, I want to see if I can just put like, just some sort of like, kind of a reflection, almost like metal. I'm going to use a eraser brush and kind of try to delete these things a little bit. I'm trying to just kind of have some weird reflection. There's a word for it. It's iridescent, I think, almost. Which I don't know why I'm complicating my life with this, but yeah. No, I don't like that. I want to just kind of add like a basic kind of lighting to it. And then I'll add some proper highlights. Because what I'll do is I'll have just some, what you would call it, specular highlights that I'll add on top of that. Kiran asking if I'm taking these colors from reference pictures. The reference pictures that I'm using are on the screen. If you are on Instagram, you don't see them, but they're right there. These are the reference. They're not exactly like what I'm doing right now, but that's the inspiration that I'm taking up from right now. Trying to see the colors are there. They are kind of all over the place. Because it's like I was saying, it's like iridescent, which is like a phenomenon of the colors that they are kind of like changing colors based on the lighting. So I'm adding all these things, and then I'm going to add some proper what you would call it, specular highlights. And for the flesh, I don't have one. I wish I had taken one. I just kind of decided that last minute, so I'm just going to try to guess it. I guess it would be like paler in the middle, and then you would have the bone, which would have like kind of a different color, maybe towards the more pale colors, not too sure. And then, yeah, maybe maybe something like that. Kind of looks like it's been chopped. Yeah, good enough. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more. What I'm trying to do is just kind of establish the basic colors, basic, form, shapes of whatever I'm doing here. On the tail in particular, so that I can after that add details. Which details will be basically highlights. These are not supposed to be masterpieces. Technically, I got 7 more minutes, which I'm probably going to need more, but we'll try to keep it there. Hola desde Colombia. Buenos días. Buenas tardes. Buenas noches. It's kind of late there. All right, I don't have much time, so let's do this. I'm going to try to add some details on top of that. I'm going to go over my lines, and okay, let's see if I can do this. So I'm going to take a color dodge and take a color, maybe something that's more in the greens. The blues, I think the blues. Yeah, the blues. I'll take a hard edge brush, I think, and I'll do is just kind of maybe just add just a little bit of that. I'm probably going to come back and erase some of that, but you can think of this as being like kind of those reflections. Okay, so we have like a little bit of that iridescent light, something like that. I'm probably going to add some on the side as well. Like there's like some light coming on the other side. All right, some of this here as well. I like what it does in the middle. Let's see if I can add some more. I'm looking at my screen. My other screen has like the picture of OBS on it, which makes the illustration I'm doing kind of smaller, which is great. If you have the opportunity to have a 2-screen of, like any way to have, like, and you have the navigator also in people that are in the navigator, it gives you like a small image in Photoshop. If you have a way to have just a smaller image, can I put that on the side? Yeah. A smaller image that you can see your stuff, it's really going to help you to kind of visualize what you're doing. I'm going to say hi to Bahar from Iran. Everybody joining. Welcome, welcome. Maybe some of that color can come here. I'll see if I can add some. Maybe there's like some kind of reflections here where I don't know, the light kind of touched there. Maybe there's yeah, some kind of reflection of water. That's not too bad. That's pretty good actually. Okay, I think I can add some final touch details. 3 minutes. Let's see. I think I'm going to add on a new layer, just kind of some just touches. Like when it comes to like specular highlights, just a little bit of white at the right places can really help sometimes. So I'll try that. Are you doing each color on its own layer in the initial stage? Yes, I usually like to have my colors separated. It's easier to get back to it. I might add a rim light here. Like there's another light coming here. Let's see if we can fake that. Like there's a light coming here. Something there. I don't know if I can put this in the flesh too. Does that make sense? Maybe, right? Like if the blood were to, maybe not. Well, maybe a little bit. Let's just add a few more maybe. I think it's already pretty good. And really this is as far as I usually push my daily fives. It's quick, steady, some fun, adding some stuff. I could try, I'm not best at this, but I could try to maybe have like kind of like a swoosh of blood, you know, like it's been chopped and it goes like choo choo, and there's maybe someone asked on Instagram earlier what program I'm using. I'm using Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop today. I also have Procreate, but it's pretty rare that I'm using it. If I'm using it, I'm like either on vacation or vacation. If I'm not in my studio, then I can use Procreate. But otherwise, I prefer to have a bigger tablet. Having bigger gesture makes it easier to paint. Just more pleasant, really. I passed the 30-minute mark, so really I should be done by now. But I think I'm pretty good, actually. I think I'm going to call it done. And that's Mermaid scale, guys. I usually like to take one of those brushes here. And then, whoops, and then I just write it down. Mermaid. Scales. And that's day one. Whoops, maybe on its own layer. And that's day one. Whoops, that's day one of, I want to say 31. There's 31 days in a month. And so, yeah, I'll be trying to do these kind of lives, guys, both on Instagram and YouTube every week at the same time. So maybe mark your calendar if you don't want to miss them. You can come, join, paint with me, ask me questions. I'll be doing these kind of, fast illustration to show you the techniques that I'm using. If you have any questions during that time, you can ask them to me. If you want more in-depth tutorials, the Digital Painting Academy is there for this. There's a link in all my socials. This is where I put all my knowledge. So if you want to start to paint more complex illustration and just kind of learn one step at a time how to paint from imagination, that's the place to go. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for everybody that was joining me live. I want to say hi to Chris and Raphael and Celestin, sorry, that was in YouTube, and so many of you guys on Instagram. Thank you so much for the love and the eyes on the work. It's always appreciated. Thank you, Tessa. Thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. We'll have another one next week. Otherwise, please join the tribe. I'm there every day, and we're all participating into the challenge as well together. So, de nada. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon.